Yeah, I mean, it got quite aggressive there yesterday in the square. The police were doing a fantastic job of trying to keep people separate from each other. I learned pretty quickly what make a hole means, and what it means is get out of the way. I didn't get out of the way fast enough, so I got trampled underfoot there for a while. But what I came away with is a sense that, you know, people are here to protest because they love to protest. There was someone I met dressed as a wall protesting about Trump. Somebody else is protesting about the fact that he wants to cull immigration. Someone else is protesting about the fact that he's Islamophobic. Everybody's here to protest about something. But what I came away with from Black Lives Matter is that really they have created the divide. Black Lives Matter have created a divide because they've said Black Lives Matter more. Pick a side. Which side are you on? And I think that's really created hostility. That's why people are applauding the police in the streets, because people are now on the side of the police. I think Black Lives Matter have done a really good thing for the police, and they've done a really good thing for Donald Trump's campaign, which is all about law and order. So they're really working in his favor right now.
Okay. You've got your opinions. They're very clear, Katie. It's only one side of the story, so I want to bring in Carl Dix now. He's a founding member of the Revolutionary Communist Party, joins us on the line. Welcome, Carl. We've heard Katie sort of gushing about Donald Trump. For a lot of people, though, he's tantamount to being a big racist. Katie also saying that the Black Lives Matter movement is basically being a dividing factor. What's your response to that?
Well, look, Ms. Hopkins is talking like she knows nothing of the reality here in this country. Because the problem is that this country has said from day one that the lives of black people matter for nothing unless they can be exploited and savagely oppressed to build up the wealth of America. From slavery, from sharecropping, Jim Crow segregation and lynch mob terror, and today, police terror, with the police replacing the lynching mobs and lynching black people and other oppressed people here. That is the problem. Black Lives Matter represents saying black lives no longer can be treated as if they don't matter. That's what those people are saying, and I stand with them in many protests and demonstrations. But the other thing I say is that this violence of the police is actually them playing the role of frontline enforcers for a capitalist imperialist system that enforces vicious exploitation and savage oppression on black people and other people here in this country, to say nothing of what it does around the world.
Carl,
we need a revolution to get rid of this system and to bring in a totally different and far better system. I listened to you, now you listen to me. I did listen to you. And we in the Revolutionary Communist Party are organizing for an actual revolution at the soonest possible time. Well, look, I am talking reality. Let's talk about Alton Sterling, a man who was beaten down, tased, pinned down on the ground, and then police pull out a gun after they immobilize him and shoot him several times. Let's talk about Eric Garner, a man who was doing nothing wrong and police choked him to death. Let's talk about that, and let's talk about the fact that those and all the hundreds of other killer cops
Let's talk about the police who put their lives on the line. Let's talk about the police who put their lives on the line to protect people every day.
That is a reality that no one...
Let's talk about police who
That's a reality that no one should accept.
Guys, I want to move things on slightly.
Don't tell me this stuff about police having a tough job, because it's not hard not to murder people. You just have to not shoot them in the back. You just have to not choke them to death.
Katie, Katie, I understand you don't agree with what Carl is saying. You don't agree with what Carl's saying. But don't you even concede that Black Lives Matter has a point?
Nonsense.
The fact is, dozens of unarmed black people who were killed by the police just in this last year. Do you accept that something has to be done? You might not like the way they're doing it, but don't you agree that something needs to be done?
I think actually you're taking a very kind of a small slice of this argument. Carl has probably seen a couple of clips on the internet sat at home. What you need to look at is the fact that black on black killing is far greater. It's off the chart. Gang killing is off the chart. And these guys are just making a protest statement. They're creating hostility. And as a result, in Baton Rouge, cops are being gunned down. These gentlemen are out here doing a fantastic job, and ladies, protecting civilians. And that's what we need. And people like Carl are creating the very kind of environment that Trump will flourish in, because he's talking about law and order. And what we need is people that will stand up, because blue lives matter and black lives do not matter more.
Carl, I want to ask you, is there not a danger that the Black Lives Matter movement is, whether it means to or not, actually encouraging prejudice against white police officers and almost promoting sort of vigilante justice from others?
Okay, well, look, here's the real problem.
Absolutely.
The very real prejudice that has always existed in America against black people. Now, Mrs. Hopkins probably doesn't recognize any of this, but there was slavery in this country. There was Jim Crow segregation and lynch mob terror. Thousands of people, black people, lynched, and no one ever punished. And today, it's black people being killed, and we see it on TV. Maybe Ms. Hopkins closes her eyes when it happens. We see it, and those cops are never punished. People are right to stand up. People need to stand up. And look,
you know what?
I understand people being angry.
This is Carl
I want to
talking.
see that
This
anger
is divisive
directed
talk.
in a way that
Black
it
Lives
could
Matter. It
do
is not
something
white lives
good, which
matter.
is
It
get
is
rid of
all
this
lives
system
matter.
through revolution.
Katie.
But in this system, all lives don't matter.
I wanna
You
get-
has told us that from the
anger,
beginning.
Carl.
Mrs. Hopkins doesn't
Carl,
recognize
your people
it.
are
She
creating
doesn't
the
recognize
anger.
the legacy
And your people
and
are
current
bringing
day
a fight.
reality of the oppression
I
of black
choose
people.
not to
But I
recognize
am
you,
working
Carl.
to get people to stand
I
up,
overlook you
including
deliberately,
around
Carl.
things that she talks about. She says nobody wants to talk about black on black violence. I will talk about the violence
Maybe
in the
stand
black
up for the
community
police.
because it is caused by the
Maybe
system
stand
too.
up for the police
It
who are
happens
working on the
because
side of good.
the system has sucked the jobs out of those communities.
standing up for
it
the
happens
police,
because
Carl?
the system has wrecked the educational thing. The system has caused the
Oy, oy, oy.
problem. The system stands up for them every day. They've backed up every killer cop that's come down the road.
gonna blame the
That's why they
system?
never get punished for their murderous deeds. I blame the capitalist
Carl,
imperialist
Carl,
system
answer me
because
this.
that is
Carl,
the cause of the problem,
Carl, stop
and that is
talking.
why we're
Carl, stop
organizing
talking
right
and
now
listen.
for
Carl,
an actual
listen.
revolution. No, you
Carl,
stop talking. I
listen.
listen to you.
Carl,
I listen
stop
to you.
talking
You listen to
and-
me. No, we
Carl,
don't play it that
you
way.
only have
There
the
was a
send
time when
button.
black
Have a
people
listen.
could not talk back to white
no, I don't
people.
wanna listen to
that
you.
time is over.
You blame
don't think so.
everything except
you think
yourself.
it's fine, and you can tell me that
Is there any
this
chance
black
anyone
man
could-
doesn't have the
could
right to
shut
talk.
Okay,
Carl,
guys,
You
could
wanna
I
talk?
ask you both
I
just to
don't play
take a
that.
breath for a
Stop.
second?
That day is
I
over.
can't even understand
No,
what
that
You
day is
disagree
over.
about many things. I want to
I'm
move it
saying-
on.
You ask Carl.
Katie, I want to
We
move it on to
disagree,
you,
but
if I
We
may.
can't talk
He's
together.
still going.
I don't
Please,
wanna
please,
sing
just
together
let
with
me
you. We
speak.
can't
I wanna
talk
move it
together.
on.
Let's
I'm
move
still
it on
going
from
because
Carl.
you
Can we
ain't
turn
listening.
down Carl?
Katie,
I'm still going because you've been trying to talk over me.
Katie,
Can you turn
who,
down
I
Carl?
who's
listened to you.
responsible
I
for
let you
improving
run
the
what you said.
situation?
hear
I
you,
didn't
Carl.
agree with
Yes.
it, but I listened. But it's got to go the other way. If you're not going to listen
Sorry,
to me,
could
there
you
ain't no
repeat
reason
that?
for me to listen to you.
Could you repeat that
Especially
question?
because
Yeah.
you're
I can't
talking
hear
Carl,
you.
garbage
please, just
that has nothing
I
to do
understand
with
you're
reality.
passionate about this, but
There
please
is
just
no
take a breath.
No.
Could you
Tell
turn him
her
down?
to listen to me.
We-
Tell her to stop talking over me, and then we can
Let's
have a
speak
conversation.
one at a time if
But
we
if you're
can.
gonna let her talk over me, I ain't
Katie,
gonna
we
let
have
her
very
talk.
little time. Somebody
She
has to
talked one
solve
at a
this
time.
problem.
I have not been
Shouldn't it
allowed
be
to
the
talk one at a
government
time.
doing it?
I don't play that.
Let's try the question once more.
Yeah,
Now Carl's managed
somebody
be
has to
quiet.
solve this problem. It's dividing a lot of people. Isn't it up to the government to take the action to solve things?
I think so, and I think what we're going to see here on Thursday when Mr. Trump, Donald Trump, he's just landed here now in Cleveland. He's going to do his big speech, his big platform speech on Thursday. You know, we've had a week of understanding the fear that faces this country. We understand how Hillary Clinton would be bad for this country. We've had Donald Trump's family come out and show us the man that Donald Trump is. And we're now going to move to Donald Trump on Thursday, giving us solutions. And those solutions are law and order. Those solutions are not black America and white America. That's everybody in America. And we don't need movements like Black Lives Matter, which are divisive, which are unfair, and which are unhelpful, and frankly, create an environment of a hostility where here, everybody wants to get along and unite behind the candidate they've chosen for the White House, and that is Donald Trump.
And very briefly, Carl, because we're practically out of time now, just a quick closing statement for you.
Okay, real quick.
Carl
This
doesn't
is,
know how to be
again, nothing
brief.
to do with reality. Rudy Giuliani, well, wait a minute. Rudy Giuliani said Monday night he wants to see Donald Trump do to America what he did in New York. What he did in New York is presided over the murder of more than 100 black and Latino youth by his police force. He even called
Rudy
up cops
Giuliani's
who had shot 2 Latino youth laying down on the ground. They were shot in the back
Carl,
numerous
he called
times.
out people like you who
Giuliani
love playing the
called them up
victim.
and congratulated them on a job well done. Again, Hopkins doesn't want to listen because some reality is being told that pushes through this. What Donald Trump's
I don't want
order
to listen
is
because you
it's
love
a
playing the
fascist
victim,
order,
Carl, and I'm not interested.
one that no one should have nothing,
Frankly, Carl,
should
you
have
bore
nothing
me.
to do with, and the law is to enforce that order, which will be vicious attacks on black people, vicious attacks on women, on immigrants, and all the rest. And in saying this, I ain't with Hillary either, because she represents the same capitalist imperialist system as Donald Trump, and their real difference is what's
so
the
you're not
best
with no
way
one.
to keep that
You'll pick
system
no
in
one,
effect,
Carl. That's
which
a good
means
solution.
exploitation and oppression for 7 billion people around the planet. That's why I'm organizing for an actual revolution. That's why the leader of the revolution, Bob Avakian, has said the role of the police is not to protect and serve the
Katie,
people,
Carl,
it's
I'm
to
sorry to
protect and
interrupt you,
serve the
Carl. I'm
system
afraid
that
we've
rules over
run
the people.
out of time. It's fair to say you're not going to be going for dinner together, I think,
Carl's
but thank
gonna
you
keep
for
talking to
joining us.
himself.
Carl Dix on the right there, founding member of the Revolutionary
busy
Communist
leading a
Party.
revolution.
Journalist Katie Hopkins, bit of a revolutionary in her own way, I think, there.